Okay. Namaste. I am going to talk about Israel in the talk series Swatantra Bharat 75, organized by Vivekananda Kendra Kanyakumari and Vivekananda Prabodhini Mumbai. I am grateful and thankful to both the organizations to provide me an opportunity to present my learnings, thoughts, and experiences of Israel. The talk will be in two parts. In the first part, I am going to talk about Israel's nationalism, and in the second part, a developed first world Israel and its relations with India. Now I am sharing the my slides. So the picture you see on the screen is of Old Jerusalem, right in the heart of the Old Jerusalem, that is Temple Mount, and the golden globe you see, golden tomb, is the tomb of the mosque, which is on the Temple Mount. So this particular high structure, this you can see the wall, and you can see a small at the bottom of the picture, you can see small figures of humans. So from the perspective, you can see the height of the structure. So it's a Temple Mount, part of the Temple Mount, and this wall is the Western Wall, and this is in the Jewish quarter, and this Western Wall is also called as Wailing Wall, and this particular wall where Jewish people come and mourn, they express their grief for what happened to their ancestors and Holocaust victims. So this is the picture of the most vital part in Jerusalem. So I'm going to briefly tell you about what exactly we are looking into in this presentation. So whenever we want to talk about some country or a land, we should know what is the graphical and historical information of the ancient land. Then persecution of Jews and Zionist movement. So these are the terms which we need to understand. Then what is the how the Israel was created and the post-independence history, the Arab-Israeli conflict, then two-state and one-state solutions, and world-famous Jews, scientists, philosophers, and thinkers, so that we can get the idea that how Israel's nationalism has developed, and though they are outside, how they are shining, and religious and cultural complexity in Israel, then 5 pillars to construct or build Israel. So here you can see the map of Israel, and this area is very small, smaller than even our Kerala. The area is 20,770 to 22,072 square kilometers. The population of Israel is 93 lakhs, and average yearly rainfall they get is 21.5 inches. It is very important to know what is the geographical location of the Israel. So in the map you see a dagger-like shape of the country, and this country is you can see the striped area, that is exactly the Israel, and Golan Heights is also now occupied by Israel, so it is part of Israel. Only West Bank and Gaza Strip, there are Arab population, which is 100% mostly Arab population. But in the West Bank, you can see there are some settlements which are created over the years, in last 10-15 years. And so this is also called occupied territory, and there are IDF soldiers, Israeli Defense Forces are always there. And this Israel is towards the west, it is fully covered by Mediterranean Sea. Towards the north, Lebanon and Syria, these two are the Arab countries. And towards the east, there is Jordan, which is also an Arab country. And towards the south, it is Egypt, and a small part is covered by Red Sea. Now you can see this country is very small, and it is covered from all the sides by Arab countries. Let us see the racial distribution of this. The racial distribution is there are 74% Jewish race people, then 21% Arab race people, 5% others. And religious distribution is Jewish people are 74 point, the people who follow Jewish religion are 74.2%. People who are Muslims, they are 17.8%. People who are Christians, they are 2%, and Druze are 1.7%, and others are 4.4%. So it's very important to know why Israel is, even though Israel is such a small country and it is surrounded by Arab countries, why it is so much developed. So the roots are in the reasons are lying in the history of the development of Israel. So let us see the history of ancient land. So this particular ancient land was called before Canaan. So there were Canaanite people staying there, and the region was called Canaan region. And this particular history, whatever we are talking about, it is of 4,000 years old. So in that 4,000 years also, we say that 200 years before Christ was crucified, and 2,000 years after crucifixion of Jesus Christ. So we can say that the crucifixion is the common point, and before 2000 years, it is before Common Era, and after 2000 years is Common Era. Now, in 2000 BCE, means before Common Era to 17th century BCE, there was a Bronze Age, and in that this region used to called Canaan region. Now the original person, the main person of Jewish race was Abraham, who came from Ur, which is in the current Iraq, and he got a prophecy that you go towards. He was a tribal sardar, and he got a prophecy that you go towards the west, and there will be a sea, and near that sea there is a fertile land where you will get all sorts of, it's a very prosperous land. There will be lots of milk and honey. So you go there with your people and get settled and flourish. So that's how Abraham moved from Iraq side, that is Ur, to Palestine. And Abraham's son was Isaac, and Isaac's son was Israel. And that is how this particular country is called Israel. And Israel had 12 sons, and these 12 sons have developed the race of Jewish. So these are the 12 tribes in Jewish land, and you can see some of the names of the tribes are Benjamin, then Jordan, Gad, Dan, so Asher. So all these are the names of the Reuben, Judah. So these are the tribes or names of 12 sons of Israel. And you can see Jewish surnames are also coming from these tribes names. There were several Jewish kings who ruled the ancient land, and over the years, initially while establishing the Jewish regime, these people they killed the local Canaanites people who were pagans. Pagans means who were native nature worshippers and who used to worship multiple gods. So these are the some of the names of the Jewish kings who ruled this ancient land. King Saul was there at 1020 BCE. Then King David was there at 1000 BCE, who was son of King Saul. And then King Solomon was there, who built a first temple. King Solomon was son of King David, and he built the first temple, which was destroyed by Babylonians. Babylon was a civilization at that time. It was very developed civilization, and they attacked this land and destroyed the first temple. Then over the years, Jewish people fled elsewhere, and some people again came back. And the King Herod, who ruled in 63 to 64 BCE, he tried to build second temple, and again Romans after that Romans attacked, and they destroyed the second temple. So this is how their temples got destroyed. And this first temple and second temple were on the Temple Mount, that is called that on that mountain, and that is why it is called Temple Mount. And the masjid, what we saw in the first slide, the dome, golden dome, that masjid was built on the ruins of second temple. Let us have a quick glance at graph of the history of ancient land of Palestine. And before going to the history, I would like to mention that let us try to understand the terminology in the graph which I have used. So this general x-axis and y-axis, if you see on the x-axis, 0 is the point where crucifixion of Jesus Christ was there. And so towards the left of 0, minus 500, minus 1000, minus 1500, these are all the before common era. And 500, 1000, 1500, 2000 on the right side, they are all common era. So color code, let us try to understand the color code. Color code used is yellow. Yellow terms are written. These are the regimes of non-Abrahamic religion, then religious kings. And blue is the Hebrew or Jewish religious regime. Then green is the Muslim regime, and red is the Ottoman Christian regime, and black is the division, that is division of the ancient land. So as I mentioned before, that in that region were staying, and Philistines also were staying during the Bronze to Iron Age transition. And these Philistines and Canaanites both were pagans. Pagans means those who are nature worshippers, and they used to worship multiple gods. So after Jewish people started establishing themselves, then these people slowly got killed, or they fled somewhere else and left the land. And even during the period, if you see, half of the period was ruled, this land was ruled by non-Abrahamic religious people. And in between only, before common era, in between only few parts were there where united Israeli monarchy, then kingdom of Judah, and Osman kingdom, which were Jewish. All these were there, but most of the times it was ruled by non-Abrahamic people like Egyptians, then Neo-Assyrians, Neo-Babylonians, then again Persians were there, all these Romans were there, and all these were non-Abrahamic. why what is the Abrahamic and non-Abrahamic? Abrahamic is, as I told you in the second slide, that the religions which are originated from Abraham are Abrahamic religions, and the original religion is Jewish religion, and the offshoot is Christian religion, which started, you can say, it started in you can see the Byzantine period. Red, you can see it started after some years after the Common Era, after death of Jesus Christ. So Christian religion started after that, and then so that is the offshoot of Judaism, which is again Abrahamic religion. And then if you see the green is also another offshoot of Abrahamic religion, which is Muslim. So Muslims have started around 600 Common Era. So in these religions, Muslim religion is the most recent religion, young religion, you can say, and Jewish religion, Abrahamic religion, was the most ancient. Our Vedic religion was more than 6,000, 7,000 years old. So these Babylonians, as I mentioned, Babylonians were very powerful and civilized. They had the writing script as well as languages. But Hebrew people, Jewish people, they did not have, they had the language, that is Hebrew, but they did not have the script. So they borrowed or learned script writing from Babylonians, and that thus Hebrew got a script. And if you see some of the pictures from Babylonian times, there are tablets, rock tablets. So Babylonian people used to carve their letters, script, right on the carvings of the rock. And that's how Hebrew also, ancient Hebrew script also has got the letters which look like carved on the carved letters on the rocks. So this is how Jewish people got their script. And as I mentioned before also, that over the years, when these non-Abrahamic religious powers have attacked by time to time in this land, Jewish people fled all over the world. And wherever they went, they were minorities, and they were not allowed to buy farmland and do farming. So there was no option for them but to do business and other activities to earn money. And they also, they were not allowed to follow their own religion outside, because outside religion was different. And that's why they used to practice their religion inside the house, and they used to taught their Hebrew Bible at home to their children. And they used to so this was the basically the Jewish families, they got importance of education, and that's how they are all very educated class, and entrepreneurs, business is in their blood. So these are the traits which they have got from their ancient history. So persecution of Jews have been started when anti-Semitism arose. So what is anti-Semitism? Anti-Semitism is the opposition of Jews. So when the Islamic and Arabic world Islamic and Arabic world started, I mean, to rise, they by nature we know that Abrahamic religions are very aggressive religions, and the more young you are, the more aggressive you are. So in that sense, Christians and Muslims, they were very aggressive to other religions, especially Judaism, which was actually their original religion, but they did not bother, and they hate Jews like anything. And this anti-Semitism has started long back. And due to this anti-Semitism, there were many small riots happened, which called pogroms over the years. So in Russia and Europe, during 1066 to 1946, all this period, lots of pogrom happened and almost 90,000 Jews were killed in this. So a pogrom is a small riot where something, if something happens, then they consider responsible for all that disorder or whatever incidents happened. They considered Jewish people as responsible for that particular incidents, and then they used to start rioting and attacking Jews and killing and burning their properties, killing them. So this is how pogroms happen, and during pogroms, 90,000 Jews were killed over the years. But Holocaust got more popularity or highlight because 60 lakh European Jews were killed during 1941 to 1945. And this was very, this was quite attacking of, I mean, they were almost near to extinction. And that is why the Jewish, there was a need of Jewish land, and there was a need of Israel's formation. Now, what is the Zionist movement? Zionism raised in late 19th century when anti-Semitism got its popularity, and Jews were persecution of Jews were began. So what was the Zionist movement? And the first, why the Zionist name Zionist movement? If you see, there is a picture on the slide, and this picture is of Mount Zion, which is in the Jerusalem. And whenever these Jewish people, they meet, they used to tell each other that while saying goodbye, they used to tell each other that next time when we meet in Jerusalem. So this is how their nationalism has begun. Due to the persecution of Jews, the Zionist movement has started. And what was the reason? I mean, what was the Zionist movement was aiming at? It was aiming at a return to the original Jewish land and re-establish Jewish country and reclaim their own land. And so this was the main aim. Then second is preservation and conservation and growth of Jewish religion and culture, which was undermined due to anti-Semitism. Then revival of Hebrew as a day-to-day language. So they started the revival long back, before even creation of Israel, and creating a Jewish agricultural country. As I mentioned before, that they were not allowed to do agriculture, they were not allowed to own farmland. And creation of Jewish army, because these Jewish people, they were there everywhere but in minority, so they were not united. So they wanted to become united, and they wanted their own country. And that is why the notion of nation was already there in their minds, and it was the Israel. Geographically, Israel was formed in 1948, but it was always there in the minds of Jewish people. So this is very important part of the nationalism, concept of nationalism. I will explain explain with some examples how this nationalism has been reflected. So in 1912, there was first technical university formed in Haifa. Haifa is a city in the north of Israel, where I was. And there is a technical university, which is the first technical university in Israel, which is named Technion. And when this university was being formed, that time British people were there, British people were ruling the Palestine region. And they mentioned that, okay, we will form this technical university, but the medium of instruction will be Yiddish. So Yiddish is a language which is combination of German and Hebrew. There were lots of Jewish people which were staying in Germany, Austria, Poland, all that region, and they used to talk because they were all Germanic people. That land was Germanic people's land, and they used to talk Yiddish language. These Jewish people, and which was a combination of German and Hebrew. So Britishers started insisting that, okay, let us keep the language of medium as Yiddish. But Zionist people movement, Zionist people, they insisted that no, because it will be in future our Jewish land and it will be the land of Israel. So we want it, the university, the medium of instruction as Hebrew. So that is how they have started the first technical university in Hebrew medium in 1912. Then in 1998, when Jerusalem University established on Mount Scopus in Jerusalem, they generally, if we see the focus of any university is to build first the infrastructure, classrooms, offices, and then they started bringing students. But here, Jewish people, they focused more on establishing first the library and the laboratory, and that actually reflects that their focus on research and more on education part. So this is how their nationalism also gets reflected. Then David Ben Gurion, who was the first prime minister of Israel, actually formed first Jewish army Haganah in Palestine during 1920 to 1948, and it was the whatever Jewish people who whatever in number they were staying there in the Palestine, he formed the Jewish First Army Haganah during 1920 to 1948. So this was also the in accordance with the motivation of Zionist movement. Then there is another interesting fact about Wiseman Institute of Technology, which is a very famous university in Israel, a world famous university, which was formed in 1934. So Dr. Chaim Weizmann was a world-class chemist and scientist during that period, and it was named after him because of his contribution. I'm going to talk a bit about that contribution. It shows the national instinct, how the nationalism has been in their blood. So as I mentioned, during the First World War, when British people, they lost, they were fighting First World War, they needed acetone, a chemical which was used for developing smoke-free cannons. And they had run out of smoke-free cannons, and they didn't know how to create acetone. And this fact was known to Dr. Chaim Weizmann. And what he did is he created acetone in the laboratory and developed its industrial production process just in 8 days. And then when he was successful, he directly went to the Britishers and told them that I know you don't have acetone, and I can give you acetone, and you can run your smoke-free cannons. But what I want is, he didn't ask anything for himself. What he asked is, you train our people, Jewish people, give our Jewish people military training, because Jewish people did not have army. So he asked to train British army people to their Jewish people. So this was, and he had many more contributions. So in his memory, they have named the world famous university Wiseman Institute of Technology. Now let us have a look at a brief history of creation of Israel and post independence history. Actually, the you can see why Israeli people they are so uh, I mean they have fighting spirit, as well as they were always attacked by these Arab countries which they are surrounded by. And apart from all that, uh, they have developed, and now they have become a first world country. So it is what how many um, hurdles came in their lives, but still they are standing for their purpose. So let us have the details that this you see again. It is in the graphical form. On the x-axis you see all the years. So the details are starting from 1917, which is a Balfour Accord. So Balfour was Balfour was one governor of British governor, and during that period, First World War was going on, and British people started losing control over the the land. This different lands they were ruling. So to gain the control, they had to attract some people. So that's why they gave the carrot of, they announced the carrot to Jewish people. That is, they said the Balfour Governor Balfour, he announced that they will form the Jewish country in the land. But though the Jewish country will be formed, the rights of local Palestine people, they will be preserved. And this particular accord is called Balfour Accord. So after Balfour Accord, over the years, again Britishers fought Second World War, and during the First World War and Second World War, they have lost lots of wealth, and they were almost bankrupt, and that's why they were ready to leave all the countries which they were ruling. And their policy, we know that it was a divide and rule. So that's how they did in most of the countries. In India also they did the same thing. So here also they decided to divide the land in Jewish and Arab parts. But it was not that easy, because there were it was not a continuous area. And that is how Arab and Israeli, you mean Arab and Jewish war started. And Ben Gurion realized that this is not going to work, because Arabs by default, I mean, Arabs were very aggressive, and they were attacking Jewish settlements. And that is why Ben Gurion has created Haganah to provide protection to the Jewish people staying in the land of Palestine. And that is how the war started, and they fought a guerrilla war. And finally in 1948, though Jewish people were very few in numbers, they won the war, and they got hold of a large land where Jewish people, they brought Jewish people. And Ben Gurion, he declared himself as Prime Minister of independent Israel. And the news came to the US, where UN was having a meeting along with other countries about decision about the partition between Jewish and Arab land. So they realized that there is no point in opposing the uh, declaration of independent Israel, because if they declare they don't accept the independence of Israel, then what would happen is, again the huge exodus will start from Israel to European countries and to the America. And already what had happened is the Holocaust. Nobody wanted Jewish people in their own countries, and due to experience of Holocaust, the Jewish race was at the verge of extinction, and that is why they wanted their own land, and there was no choice for UN but to accept Ben Gurion's decision of declaration of independent Israel. But Jordan was not happy about it, and what Jordan did is it annexed East Jerusalem and West Bank to Jordan. They quickly took over that part which was connected with Jordan. It was during immediately after independence, that is during 1950. Then in 1956, Egypt attacked Israel from south, and it is called the Sinai campaign, and it is also called Operation Khadash. So that war also defended by Israel very successfully. And after that, in 1967, again, all these countries, that is Syria, Lebanon, Egypt, and Jordan, all the four countries, they came together and they attacked Israel from all the sides on the day of Yom Kippur, which not Yom Kippur, it was a 6-day war. And they thought that they will beat Israel from all sides. But it happened that Israel was very prepared, and Jewish people, they fought the war in 6 days. They regained the power in East Jerusalem, West Bank, Golan Heights, and Gaza. All these area, what was taken away by Jordan, Egypt, and Lebanon and Syria, they took it back. So in 1967, Israel had most of the parts of Palestine, hold over most of the part of Palestine. And Jordan actually lost interest in keep doing wars with Israel. Then during 68 to 70, again the war of attrition happened. And this was the Egyptian, from Egypt. There was a terrorist organization which used to come and attack in the Jewish parts. So to fight back these terrorists, this war happened in 68 to 70 between Egypt and Israel. Then in 1973, there was a Yom Kippur War. Yom Kippur War is very famous because Yom Kippur is the day which is observed by Israelis in the memory of the Holocaust victims. And on that day, nothing, they don't work at all. Nothing works, and they just worship. And it is practiced very religiously and studiously. So no activity happens on that day. And all these Arab countries, they knew that Yom Kippur means Jewish people will be mourning, and they will be observing observing some rituals in the memory of their own people. And that time no activity will happen, and this is the right time for grabbing them, and that's why they attacked on Israel on the Yom Kippur. But again, Israeli army was very alert, and they fought back and chased Israel, Egypt and Syria back to their, and they not only chased, but they took Gaza Strip from, got hold or complete hold on Gaza Strip from Egypt, and Golan Heights. They took Golan Heights from Syria. Then first Lebanon war happened in 1982, and we all know 1991 Gulf War happened, which actually began from Iraq fired some chemical missiles on Israel, and that's how it started. Then Iraq and then America also entered into it, and the whole Gulf War started. Then the second Lebanon war happened in 2006, and 2007 again the Gaza war happened. Gaza, then Israel decided that okay, we will return Gaza to Palestinian. The reason they were not ready to hand over these areas to Palestine, because Palestine was not very established, and they did not have the capability to get hold of the whole country and establish it. And there was a danger of getting it occupied by, taken over by terrorist organizations like Hamas. And that is how it happened in 2007 when Gaza was returned by Israelis to Palestine. Immediately Hamas took over it, and again the terrorist activities from Gaza has been started. For all these wars, US always supported Israel, and American, because because of its self-interest. There are only 2% Americans, Jews in America, but still they are very influential, and that is why US always supported Israel for their development and these wars. Now let us have a look at, although all these conflicting history is there with the Jewish people and Jewish land, there are lots of world famous scientists, philosophers, and thinkers who are Jewish. I will name the few. We all know these people. The Albert Einstein, then Sigmund Freud, which who is a very famous psychologist and experiment scientist. Then you can see Mark Zuckerberg. He is also Jewish, American Jewish. Then there is he is a CEO of Facebook, and Steven Spielberg, who is a Hollywood director, famous Hollywood director. And if you see, there are many American scientists, lawyers, industrialists, directors of various companies, doctors, academicians, who are all Jewish, and they are very influential community in America. Only 2% population, US population is Jewish population, but still they have a very strong hold in America's politics. We know that there are total number of Jewish Nobel laureates are 226 all over the world, and among them 12 are Israelis. And there is another Fields Medal which is given for mathematicians, another prestigious award. The total number of Jewish Fields Medal holders are 15, and among them one is Israeli. So you can say that 25% of the total Fields Medal given to Jewish people. Now the root, let us see the root cause of Arab-Israel conflict. So as I mentioned before that it was a Jewish ancient land. If we see the before Common Era history, and then over the years, what happened is that after different attacks, the Arabs also came and they claimed the land, they started establishing, they established their mosque on the Temple Mount, on the ruins of Second Temple, Jewish Second Temple. And they say that after Makkah, this Temple Mount is the second holy land or holy place to Muslims. Why? Because they say that they believe that this Muslim religion founder, he came in his dream. He came to the Temple Mount on a white horse. That's how they believe, and that's why they think that that particular, you know, temple or not temple, Temple Mount, the mosque is very holy for them. And over the years, they developed Arab settlement, Arab Muslim settlements around that particular mount. So in Jerusalem, holy city, if you see, Jerusalem is also the place where Church of Holy Sepulchre is there. Means in that church, you can see where the it is there is a Via Dolorosa, the route where it is the route which was taken by Jesus Christ when he was persecuted and he was crucified. So he was fixed to the cross, and then he walked that whole path, all the 9 places where he stopped, and there were stories related to that. So all that route is called Via Dolorosa, and that route is in the old city of Jerusalem, and where he was crucified and he died finally is in the Church of Holy Sepulchre, which is in the old city of Jerusalem. So this is also very holy for Christians. So now you can see that this particular land of old Jerusalem is very fiery, and it is very important to all these 3 religions. And there is a claim from all the 3 religions to this particular site, and it will be hardly a 4 to 5 kilometer area. So it's a very vital land, vital part of the Jerusalem. And it is the root of Arab-Israeli conflict, because Arabs say that no, it is our land. Jewish say that no, it is our land because it is our ancient land. And their Muslim mosque is built on our ruins of our second temple. And under the Temple Mount, Jewish people, Israeli government has done the excavation, and from the excavation, it is proven archaeologically that there were ruins of first temple and second temple. They claim that there is a white rock under the exactly under the mosque, where which was the actually the worshipping site of Jews. So this is how they claim. And there are 4 parts in this Jerusalem, old Jerusalem. There is a Muslim quarter, then there is a Christian quarter, Armenian quarter, and Jewish quarter. In the Armenian quarter, there are Armenian Christians. Then in the Christian quarter, there are all Christians. So most of the Via Dolorosa and these ancient holy sites of Christians are there in the Christian quarter. Then Jewish quarter, Western Wall is there, and part of some part of Temple Mount. And Muslim quarter is the largest one, where the dome of the rock is there, and the Haram al-Sharif mosque is there, which is the site of the ruins of the second temple. And Al-Aqsa mosque is also there in the outside the Muslim quarter. So Old Jerusalem Muslim quarter, this is the map of the Old Jerusalem Muslim quarter, which is the largest part. And you can see these are some of the pictures. And from the pictures only, you can see that the Muslim quarter is quite, ruined, and it's not very well maintained. And you can see the lifestyle of Muslims there. And the financial condition, it is quite low financial condition. And I have seen this part, and the people staying there, they are very poor. Then this is the Christian quarter in the Old Jerusalem, where all the Christian holy sites are there. And this is a bit wealthier part. And you can see a market where all the because continuously pilgrims come, Christian pilgrims come, and they even carry the cross through Via Dolorosa. And so all the churches are there, different churches and the holy sites. So you can see it is much neat and clean. Then there is a Armenian quarter, which is also quite wealthy, and you can say upper middle class kind of quarter, where Armenian. So it's interesting that Armenian Christians, they have their own churches, where Arab Christians don't come, and Arab Christians, they have their own churches, where Armenian Christians, though they follow both the same kind of religion, but still they don't go in their own churches. They don't share the churches. Then this is the old city of Jerusalem, Jewish quarter, which is quite smaller quarter. And you can see the pictures, it's quite wealthier part. And everywhere, I mean, this particular region, the Old Jerusalem especially, is very vital. And anytime anything can happen. So IDF soldiers are always placed there, and they are always on the alert mode. So this is how the Arab and Jewish conflict is there. And people say that there is a two-state solution, and some people say that there is one-state solution. What is the two-state solution? Two-state solution is nothing but where the two states will be there. One will be Palestine and one will be Israel. And Palestine will be for Arabs, and Israel will be for Jewish people. And its vision started from 1937, where a British mandate of Palestine came. Peel Commission in British Parliament, British people, they decided that, okay, a small part of area of Jerusalem will be given to Jewish people, and rest of the part will be Arab part. And you can see in 1947, this was the map of Palestine, where all the green area was Palestine part, that is Arab part, and the white parts were Jewish parts. This was the condition in 1946. Then came in 1947, the UN partition plan was there. The plan was that there would be 3 divisions, and from 37 to 47, what changed is there was a Holocaust, and 60,000 Jews were killed in just 5 years of span. And that is why there was a need for a Jewish land, and many Jewish who fled from, who were rescued and saved from Holocaust, they were coming to Israel, and that is why you can see the demographic change now in 47. Suddenly, the demographic change was the Jewish part was increased and the Arab part, Palestinian part was reduced. Now, in 1967, we have seen that in the history, post-independence history, all these surrounded Arab countries always attacked Israel. And in Arab-Israeli war, 1967, Jewish people taken over much of the land of Israel, claimed. And this was the condition that only Gaza Strip and West Bank was in the Palestine, and rest of the things were with Israelis. Now, in 1993, Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin has signed a Oslo Accord 1 with PLO leader Yasser Arafat. PLO is the Palestine Liberation Organization, and in 1993, the Oslo Accord 1 said that there will be two-state solution, means Israel will be there and Palestine will be there with Gaza and West Bank, and Israel will help Palestine under the supervision of UN to develop itself as a country. So this was all these were written in the Oslo Accord 1, and the Oslo Accord 2 in 1995 was signed by again Rabin, where West Bank and Gaza was given to Palestine. So as soon as this was signed in probably during June or something, and in the month of November, Prime Minister Rabin was assassinated by a fanatic ultra-Orthodox Jew, because ultra-Orthodox Jews, they believe that there should be only one land of Israel, that is only one country, there should be one state solution. And because they considered that if Rabin would be there, then this two-state plan will go forward, and there will not be only one state of Israel, and that is why he assassinated Rabin. And once the Rabin was assassinated, the whole thing was stalled, and Oslo Accords vanished in the air, and nobody was paying attention. And over the years, what happened is that Palestine could not develop itself as a country, and they don't have much, their own army to protect their own interests. And this is the reason Hamas had taken over, and in the West Bank, there are lots of settlements developed in the occupied territory. They are called occupied territories. And now it has gone to the extent that the West Bank region has become almost like a woven cloth, where for each Israeli settlement, there will be an Arab settlement. And everything is partitioned with IDF soldiers, and guarding the all partitions. And it's almost impossible to have two-state solution. And if the one-state solution will be there, means if the whole thing will be converted to one state and one secular state, then quickly Jewish people will become outnumbered, because Arab people population is far more than Jewish population, and the poverty in Arab population, the lack of education in Arab population will hamper the whole situation, and quickly again the exodus of Jewish people will start. And that is why still they are not coming to a conclusion whether there should be a two-state solution or one-state solution. Two-state solution will be the ideal situation, but it is almost impossible, because the situation is worst. Now, religious and cultural complexity in Israel. So, Jewish immigration to Palestine over the years is called Aliyah. The first Aliyah happened during 1882 to 1903. 35,000 Jews from Romania, Russia, and Europe did Aliyah. Second Aliyah happened during 1904 to 1914, and in that period, 40,000 Jews from Romania, Bulgaria, and Russia did Aliyah to Palestine region. Third Aliyah happened in 1999 to 1923, and 40,000 Jews came from East Europe. So on and so forth. During 1933 to 1948, because of the Holocaust, illegal immigration also happened, and with illegal immigration, almost 110,000 Jews, which were Holocaust survivors, did Aliyah to Palestine land, and millions of Jews immigrated over the years after the formation of Israel, because it was the land of Jewish land. Now, in the Jewish land, there were various types of Jews. There are Ashkenazi Jews, which are white, and there are Sephardi Jews, which are brown and pale dark skin. Ashkenazi Jews are from America, Europe, and Russia, and Sephardi Jews are African, Indian, and Arabic from Arabic lands. Indian Jews are called Bene Israelis, and apart from these, there are Arab Muslims, Arab Christians, Druze, Armenian Christians, Baha'is, and Bedouins. So there is a lot of cultural and religious complexity in Israel. Though the land is very small, it's very vital in religious context. So it was a challenge to build Israel from all these diversities. So Israel decided to have 5 pillars to construct Israel. So these 5 pillars are Jewish religion and culture, then Hebrew language, which is called Ivrit, then Kibbutzim and Moshavim, comprehensive education system, and compulsory army education. We are going to see one by one all these pillars. So they have given priority to Jewish religion and culture. So they started following Jewish calendar. All the holidays are given because of the Jewish, according to the Jewish festivals and their calendar. They follow the Jewish tradition of Shabbat. So Shabbat means in Hebrew, Saturday is called Shabbat, and in the Semitic religion, Semitic region, all these Middle East is called Semitic region, and in the Semitic region, there is an importance. Whatever starts, it starts from the setting of sun and rising of moon. So all the festivals and everything, it begin from the evening to it starts. Our festival start from the rise of the sun, and their festival starts at the setting of the sun and rising of the moon. So the Shabbat starts from evening of Friday. So in Israel, when Shabbat will be there, they don't drive, they don't do any work. So the buses don't run, public transport don't run, trains don't run, they don't drive, they don't even apply electrical appliances, then they don't work at all, not even lifting of phone, putting on electric switches. So all these they considered as work. And so what is the philosophy behind this is, in the Abrahamic religion, especially in the Jewish religion, they consider that God has created this world in 6 days, and 7th day he rested. So their philosophy is that we work for 6 days and then we rest for 7th day. So this resting day is the Shabbat day. So they don't work on Shabbat. So there is also their attire. What would be the hairstyle? What would be the attire of ultra-Orthodox people. So they follow all that. So some people, they follow the Jewish attire as well. So priority was given to Jewish culture and religion in Israel. And this was they teach also Hebrew Bible in the schools. And all the Jewish history was taught to uh, Jewish people, Jewish children since childhood. And this is how they give priority to Jewish religion and culture.
Yes.
Next is conversation and use and education in Hebrew. So in 19th century, when the Zionist movement started, they decided to revive their Hebrew language because it was restricted to only religious text. So they wanted to make it to a day-to-day life language. And for that, Eliezer Perlman, whose name is Ben Yehuda, who was famous as a Ben Yehuda, created Hebrew dictionary in 1920 and brought Hebrew language to day-to-day life. And over the years, different scholars of Hebrew also contributed in the revival and establishment of Hebrew language. So there was, we have seen that a lot of people have made aliyah from different countries due to persecution of Jewish people, as well as after formation of Israel, they wanted to establish the land of Jewish land. And that's why many people, Jewish people from different parts of the world, they did aliyah to Israel. And the problem was they were not knowing Hebrew. So they have developed a very superior and fastest and most effective way of learning Hebrew. It is called as Ulpan in Hebrew. So I have taken, when I was there, I have taken this Ulpan, introductory Ulpan, and it's really very effective. And when I thought it was very, because Semitic language is not a Indo-European family language. Its total structure is different. The way they write it, it is different. They write it from right to left, and the written script and writing script and the printing script, they are different. So soon we will show this. I will show the pictures. So to the left of the left side, you can see the writing script, which is cursive kind of but the letters there, Hebrew letters, are different than the letters which is printed Hebrew, which is at the left right hand side. And these printed letters are different than written letters. So I felt that it is really very challenging to learn Hebrew, but the way they teach in an interactive fashion is very interesting and very effective. And this is how they have actually spread the use of Hebrew language. And right from nursery to highest education, it's all in Hebrew. PhD also research they do in Hebrew. The thesis they do in Hebrew. Even there are research journals who are published in Hebrew. They conduct conferences, various conferences in Hebrew. And this is how the whole, I mean, if you go even in the big hospitals, everything right from reports to whatever doctor talks, everything is in Hebrew. You will not find a single thing in English. So this is up to that extent they have used Hebrew, and it has really affected a lot in their progress. Then the next is kibbutzim and moshavim. So it is for economic and social stability and industrial and developing industrial and agricultural society. So let me explain what is kibbutz and what is moshav. So when the Zionist movement started, some we know that due to persecution of Jews, many people started doing aliyah to Jewish land of Palestine, and this there was they wanted to establish a way to develop the society, agricultural society, and that is why they developed kibbutz. So kibbutz is a term which is used for a society based on agriculture. So this system is based on communist ideology, and in this society is the center of social life, where and rich American Jews, they bought lands in Palestine and donated to kibbutz. So on those lands, various kibbutz were developed. So what is kibbutz? So the first kibbutz is established in 1909, and so far there are 270 kibbutzim till 2010. Kibbutzim is the plural of kibbutz, and in Hebrew language, plural is has a suffix im. So kibbutz, kibbutzim, moshav, moshavim. So in this kibbutz, the houses and farms are owned by the kibbutz, and the distribution of work is there, and they live like a family. So even though there is a group of people who live like a family, so the work distribution is, say for example, if there is a cow shed, then the milking of cow work will be given to a particular group. Then there is if there will be common kitchen, so the kitchen work would be given to a particular group, and they will be responsible, and they will take care of that work. Then so like that, likewise teaching to children, babysitting, then medical facilities. So all that, teaching, even dormitories. So children, all the children in kibbutz, they used to stay together like a dormitory. So there was no family as such. The whole the lot of it, suppose there are 200 to 300 people in a kibbutz, so this 203 it will not be considered as a set of families, but it is one family of 300 people staying together. So all the children will stay together in a dormitory setup, and all the clothes will be, so there will be a laundry facility. So all the clothes from the kibbutz people, they will be washed in a laundry, and that responsibility would be given to a group of people. So like that, distribution of work would be there, and they used to live like one family, and everything in the kibbutz is owned by each member. So ownership was there with everybody. So everybody was responsible for development of the kibbutz, and to contribute in the kibbutz. So they were not carrying any money or anything. They were not given money for doing work in the kibbutz, but they were provided whatever was needed to live in the so the agricultural society was developed by using kibbutzim, the notion of kibbutzim, and it helped a lot in developing Israeli society initially as a Jewish culture, when people had come from different parts of the world. Then Moshav is also another such kind of social system, but it is based on industrial model. So what is Moshav? It is a cooperative agricultural and industrial village, and where family is the central part of the social life, and farmlands are owned by individual families, and the products are sold on cooperative principles, and collective agricultural and equal distribution of profit. So these are the characteristics of Moshavim. So first Moshav was built in 1921, and And over the years, till 1986, 448 Moshavim are there in Israel. Now there will be more. The kibbutz are now more turned into, they are not running, functioning as kibbutz the way traditionally they used to function. Now the properties are owned by the person who is owning that particular house or something, but still they are living as a community of kibbutz. So in short, let me summarize. The Zionist movement was the origin of Israel's nationalism. Holocaust made the Zionist movement stronger. The Hebrew nation was always in their mind, but it was created in 1948. Haganah was the first Jewish army established. Post-independence, it became IDF. Then creation of Israel focus on everything which is Jewish, including Hebrew language, Hebrew culture, Hebrew calendar, even Hebrew diet, follow kosher diet. So all these they focus. So education is also, which we will be seeing in the next part of the talk. So everything Hebrew was the, and never forget their history. So they never forgot their history. They always taught their history to their children. And so this is how the Israeli nationalism is developed. And it has helped them a lot in developing Israel as a nation. Though it is surrounded by all Arab countries which are enemies to Israel, but still it is standing firmly and as a developed country. Thank you. So in the next part, I'm going to talk about the comprehensive education system of Israel, army education, Mossad, and Israeli startup culture, the modern world Israel, and the Indo-Israel relationship. Thank you.